Good night. It's let's see, it's 11:28 at night, so I guess you could say good night. It's Q North Star, and I have kind of made a decision to start putting up some more content. Or I should say, get back into content creating again. I walked away from it for a couple years. I put up some music. Um, the album's done, but some other stuff kind of came up. Worked on a group album with a homie of mine, so we're trying to wrap that up. And then I figured what I would end up, the goal is to, get the group album done. Try to put it out there, see how it does. Then just, work on his solo in the process, and then put my album out, put his album out. But that ain't what this video is about. This video is about mainly, and will mainly be about, I would only vote for Trump if he did this one thing. And one may say, what is it? What is that one thing that he could do that you would then turn around and actually vote for him? And it's very simple. It's a very simple thing that all he would need to do. All he would need to do is admit that what he did, so far as that Operation Warp Speed is concerned, was a grave mistake. And that it's something that he should have never done. The one thing that bothers me the most, though, is kind of like what they're doing right now for this bird flu crap. And keep in mind, they're going to try to run this back. They are trying to leverage a famine, a man-made famine, in hopes of coercing more people to get these mRNA things. That's what it's looking like. But he made a deal with these two major big pharma companies, and we all know who they are. Behind the scenes in January of 2020. And that bothers me. It really does bother me. And the reason why it bothers me is because this was 2 months before everything was shut down for several months. And why were they getting taxpayer money to, quote unquote, develop something that they already had patents for years in advance? See, I understand he's a businessman. So he's going to do that which will benefit his bottom line, his pockets. I can't see myself voting for either one of these people. Because at the end of the day, when you have faulty wiring in your house, what does changing the light bulb actually do? If the whole house is wired with flaws, what does changing a light bulb do? Because it's not necessarily a source that's going to control or even fix the faulty wiring in the house. You have to basically take the whole house apart, fix the faulty wiring before you should even bother considering putting in a light bulb. See, a new light bulb. The reality of the situation is that this is FUBAR, okay, and it was purposely FUBAR. Everyone knows with the common sense that there was some cheating going on during the so-called last election. But the reason why I just don't vote anymore, especially in federal elections or elections that don't necessarily affect me locally, I won't say I don't vote anymore, period, but I don't vote in federal elections anymore because, as we saw through the last scamdemic, because they're trying to come up with scamdemic part two, um, everything was really controlled locally. And yeah, there was some, overreach by the Fed. Um, but ultimately, it was the local governments that really was the spearhead that spearheaded these BS restrictions, mandates, and all that. And they're looking to do it again, but now they're going to affect the food supply. They're now it's animals are the problem. Uh, Cows and chickens are the problem. As soon as you know it, they're going to have turkey flu. Um, they now have pork flu or swine flu. I guess they already have swine flu, right? But I can't really foresee myself voting for Trump because I don't think he fully is committed. I think he knows the business aspect of America is not doing really good. So it's easy for people to relate when that $5 you that used to get you a little lunch meal only gets you a drink. you know, like before you used to be able to get a meal. Whatever happened to the $5 footlong? Now you go there, you get a footlong, it's $14. You know, like for real, what the hell happened? You know, um, I always say, look, I agree with Trump on a lot of his policies. Lord knows my my investment, my 401ks, whatnot, like made boatloads of money under Trump, lost boatloads of money under Obama. So that goes without a shadow of a doubt. But there's something about what he did with that warp speed just is very unsettling to me. And initially he was against it and then he went with it. And one has to ask why? What was the what my I guess also how I feel too is you were in the seat of power allegedly. We all know that the president doesn't really control shit. But for the sake of the conversation, let's say he does, right? So he was in the seat of power for 4 years. Did he change anything? Did the system change? Or did we just have like a temporary monetary bump? That's what it really feels like to me. It was just that his monetary policy was good, but the underbelly of the so-called swamp that he alleged he was going to drain, he didn't drain it. He said he was going to put Hillary behind bars. He didn't do it. Then they turned around and tried to put him behind bars. It almost feels like it's a like it's WWE with real life consequences. I've always said this. It's these political shows, these political games they have real life effects. They affect people's lives on the real, and it seems like that the very very rich in this country is all about playing games with people's lives, and they don't care what happens to those people's lives that they're playing with. We're like little toy soldiers in their little fantasy world. So I will not be voting for anyone this year. I don't know. I have to look to see who's on the local elections because honestly, that's where my attention is. But um, I'll never ever vote for a Democrat ever again. Um, at least not one of these progressives or whatever the hell they call themselves. They completely align with everything that I'm against. They're a death cult. They're a fear cult. They're obey not NPC obeyers. And I'll just say this, and I'll end this video. You know what's funny? Um, the same people that made fun of Trump when he talked about injecting bleach or whatever. At least that's what they said. Trump said they said that they made fun of him. Oh, why do you think you could inject bleach and it's just gonna kill you? Da, da, da. Those are the same people that had no problem injecting an unknown substance into their arm that they had no idea what the hell the shit was gonna do. I just find that very ironic. Very, very ironic indeed. But at the end of the day, you know, you just kind of got to look at it for what it's worth. And it's not worth a whole lot. What did we get out of all this? We didn't get anything other than less freedom, more fear. People still walking around with freaking face masks on. It's like, dog, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why are you walking around with a fucking face mask, surgical mask on? Like, it doesn't work. It's funny though, because back when this fucking place, this YouTube shit, when I was talking about these things, I would get these videos. Those kind of videos would be flagged. So hopefully this doesn't get flagged, seeing as how now there's actual studies out that backs up everything I fucking said years ago. So this ain't medical advice. Don't fucking flag my videos with foolish bullshit, because I saw through the bullshit. But you know how it goes. There's a bunch of hypocrisy. So you made fun of Trump, talk about injecting bleach. So, oh, who would do that? Da, da, da. But then you had no problems injecting some foreign substance in your fucking arm that ended up giving people these fucking stringy things in their bodies and causing myocarditis and pericarditis and all manners of fucking paralyzation and shit. The fucking irony of it all. I just can't believe how people don't see it. But then again, they don't want to see it. They're woefully ignorant, you know.